What happens when the crowds suddenly disappear, when once busy streets fall silent, and when destinations that relied on millions of visitors each year are left waiting with empty hotels, quiet airports, and businesses struggling to survive? Across Asia, tourism has long been more than just travel. It has been a lifeline for economies, supporting millions of jobs, small businesses, and entire communities that depend on a steady flow of visitors. But in 2026, changing global trends, economic uncertainty, and shifting travel patterns are beginning to raise a serious question that few people are openly discussing. What if tourism slows down more than expected, and what happens to the countries that rely on it the most? Because the real story is not just about fewer tourists, it's about the ripple effect that follows. Before we explore the countries on this list, it is important to understand that economic shock does not mean collapse, but rather sudden pressure that affects industries, employment, and growth in noticeable ways. Tourism-dependent economies are particularly sensitive to global changes, because even small declines in visitor numbers can have a significant impact on income, local businesses, and government revenue. This video is based on widely discussed trends, economic patterns, and the importance of tourism in national economies, offering a realistic and balanced perspective rather than exaggerated claims. By understanding these dynamics, you can better see how global travel patterns influence not just destinations, but entire economic systems. Thailand, a tourism giant under pressure. Thailand has long been one of Asia's most visited destinations, attracting millions of tourists each year with its beaches, culture, and vibrant cities, making tourism a major contributor to its economy. When visitor numbers fluctuate, the impact is felt across multiple sectors, from hospitality and transportation to local markets and small businesses that depend heavily on tourist spending. Even a moderate decline can create noticeable pressure, leading to reduced income for workers and slower economic activity in key regions. What makes this situation important is not just the scale of tourism, but how deeply it is connected to everyday livelihoods, meaning that any disruption can have far-reaching consequences beyond what most visitors ever see. Maldives. High dependence on luxury tourism. The Maldives represents a unique case where tourism is not just important, but central to the entire economy, particularly through high-end resorts and international visitors seeking exclusive experiences. Because of this strong reliance, any slowdown in global travel demand can quickly translate into reduced revenue, affecting employment and investment across the country. While the Maldives continues to attract visitors, its economic structure makes it more sensitive to changes in travel patterns, highlighting the importance of diversification and long-term planning. This creates a situation where even small shifts in global tourism trends can have a larger than expected impact. Indonesia. Bali's influence on national tourism. Indonesia's tourism sector is heavily influenced by destinations like Bali, which serve as global travel hubs and attract millions of visitors annually. When tourism in these key areas slows down, the effects extend beyond local businesses, influencing national economic performance and employment in related industries. This concentration of tourism activity creates both opportunity and risk, as reliance on specific destinations can amplify the impact of changing travel trends. Understanding this dynamic is essential to seeing how localized shifts can affect broader economic outcomes. But here's the part that most people don't realize. Some of the countries most affected by tourism changes are not always the ones you hear about, and in some cases, the impact is growing quietly behind the scenes. Vietnam. Rapid growth meets uncertainty. Vietnam has experienced significant growth in tourism over recent years, becoming an increasingly popular destination for international travelers. However, rapid growth can also create vulnerability, as expectations for continued expansion may not always align with changing global conditions. When growth slows or stabilizes, it can create pressure on businesses and infrastructure that were built with higher demand in mind. This transition phase is where challenges often emerge, requiring careful management and adaptation. Sri Lanka. Recovery and economic sensitivity. Sri Lanka has faced economic challenges in recent years, making tourism an important sector for recovery and stability. As a result, fluctuations in visitor numbers can have a more pronounced effect, influencing income levels and economic confidence. While the country continues to attract interest from travelers, its reliance on tourism as part of its recovery strategy makes it particularly sensitive to global travel trends. Nepal, tourism and local economies. In Nepal, tourism plays a significant role in supporting local economies, especially in regions that attract international visitors for cultural and natural experiences. When tourism slows, the impact is often felt at the community level, affecting small businesses and local employment. This highlights how tourism is not just a national economic factor, but a direct contributor to livelihoods in specific areas. Cambodia, cultural tourism and economic impact. Cambodia's tourism sector, driven by cultural landmarks and historical sites, is an important source of income and international engagement. Changes in visitor numbers can influence not only economic activity but also investment in infrastructure and preservation efforts. This creates a complex relationship between tourism and long-term development. Philippines, tourism as a growing sector. The Philippines has been expanding its tourism industry, positioning itself as a key destination in the region. While growth brings opportunity, it also introduces challenges when external factors influence travel demand. Understanding how emerging tourism markets respond to these changes provides insight into future trends. Japan, high expectations and market shifts. Japan's tourism sector has grown significantly, supported by global events and strong international interest. However, maintaining high visitor numbers requires adapting to changing travel preferences and economic conditions. When expectations are high, even small shifts can create noticeable effects. So what is the real takeaway from all of this? Tourism is more than just travel. It is a powerful economic force that connects global movement with local livelihoods. When it slows down, the effects are not always immediate, but they are deeply felt across industries and communities. Understanding this helps us see the bigger picture behind the destinations we visit. If this video gave you a new perspective on global tourism and its impact, make sure to like and share it so others can understand these important trends as well. And if you want more in-depth insights on global economies, travel, and opportunities, subscribe to Free Visa Hub and turn on notifications. Now tell me, which country on this list surprised you the most, and where do you think tourism will grow next?